I know you guys can hear me. Thumbs up. Nice. All right, we are live. We are live. This is my customary wait for people to come in to this R-BoP podcast. So I want to thank you all in advance for showing up. So I'm going to sit here, sip just a little sippy, and wait for an eyeball or two. And then we will move on from there. Yes, indeed. Oh, there's two eyeballs already. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Welcome to the podcast. Well, the soon to be podcast. Who do we got? Hello. Hello. All right. Someone might speak here in a second. Oh, I got Juan. Love it. Good afternoon, my friend. How are you? Can you hear me? Is my audio okay? Please let me know. Well, I'm going to wait for maybe a minute or two, if that. Wait for a few more people to come in. And look, I'm doing an introduction. I don't even know if you can hear me. Genius. All right. Oh, shucks. I got Lep. What's going on, Lep? Yes, indeed. I got Leprechaun Barbecue in here. Can you hear me, guys? Give me a thumbs up, not thumbs down. Give me something so I know I'm not talking to just myself. I do that. You're not crazy if you talk to yourself. You're crazy if you answer. I just want to say that. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Got three eyeballs in here. What's going to happen is shortly I'm going to start this podcast. So you guys are getting all the bonus stuff before the podcast actually starts. I'm going to start my intro. Then I'm going to actually go into the podcast. And then I'm going to bring in my two special guests. This is my first international podcast. Ain't that some shit? My first international podcast. I have inter and national guests, two of them. And then we'll go on from there. All right, guys. So I got 5 people in here and 1 heart. Thank you so much, guys. We're going to start this podcast right now. So bear with my intro. Here we go. I want to welcome you guys to R-BoP. This is Riddick's Book of Philosophy. My name's Philip Riddick, and this is where I talk about what I want to talk about the way I want to talk about it. If you enjoy this podcast, tell your friends, family, and loved ones to come in and enjoy my whimsical way of saying things, doing things, and thinking about things.
Please hold for a very important message.
Hey, everybody. Sooner or later, you're going to have to travel. You're going to have to take a plane, a hotel, or rent a car or something, either because you want to go on a vacation, something that you were waiting for or really wanted to do, or sometimes we have some unfortunate circumstances in our families where we have to travel involuntarily. Either way or the other, if you need to travel, you want to save some money. I am an independent TSA, Travel Savings Ambassador for iBoomerang. And I can save you 30 to 70% on your travel. If you send me your first and last name to the following email address, dcboomgetaways@gmail.com. Once again, dcboom, B-U-U-M, getaways@gmail.com. I can send you an absolutely free website, yours personally, that you can use whenever you want, and it will save you money. It can save your money whenever you are going away. You might be going away now. You might be going away in the future. This website is yours forever. But once again, if you want to save money traveling 30 to 70%, shoot your first and last name to me at dcboom, B-U-U-M, getaways@gmail.com. All right. Welcome to R-BoP. My name's Phil, and I'm the hostess with the mostest. I really wanted to do that. Anyway, guys, I want to welcome to R-BoP. This is a forum where I talk about what I want to talk about the way I want to talk about it. So you might want to buckle your seatbelts because 9 times out of 10, more times than not, my conversations kind of go off the rails. All right, guys. Now, my 2 guests are 2 good friends of mine, friends that I've never met, but I feel like I have. All right, guys. They are Matt and Ryan. They are both the hosts for the Barbecue Talks podcast. Let me bring them in right now. Y'all put your hands together for my guests. There you go. I got Matt and Ryan, guys. I want to thank you so much for being part of my podcast because you're special.
I feel special already.
I've always been told I've been special, but I'm not quite sure why. To be honest.
That's awesome. But like I said, guys, they have it's the Barbecue Talks Show podcast. Okay, Barbecue Talk Show podcast, and they're out of the UK. So, like I said, this is my very first ever international podcast. I love technology. That's great, y'all. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to go straight into the questions. Introduction. I have Matt and Ryan. Matt, introduce yourself first.
Okay, so I'm Matt. Like Phil said already, one of the hosts of the Barbecue Talk Show. We've been going about nearly 20 episodes now.
Nice.
Since roughly just before lockdown. Had some good guests on the show. Yeah, been good. I also have my own Instagram page with different bits and bobs on. I'm just going to plug my shit. I hope you don't care.
Just make sure I get all of that in writing again, so I can make sure I put it in the show notes.
So that's it's Smoking Q's.
Nice.
Smoking, all one word, and then Q's, Q and an S. Go and check that out. I've got some little ideas to do to spice that up. There's been content's been lacking a little bit, so I'm going to do like a around the world kind of random pick places and cook meals.
Wow, so, that's a good idea. I might be stealing that.
No, I'm going to trademark that fucker. That's mine.
That's awesome. Okay, Ryan, introduce yourself, sir.
Hi, my name's Ryan, as you just said. I'm lucky enough to work with that guy up there. We run a podcast every Friday at 9:30 UK time. We get to talk to excellent people like your good self, Phil. Thank you for having us on your podcast. That's really kind of you. I have a YouTube presence, which is Ryan G's Barbecue and Stuff. I also have a podcast of the same name. Not a podcast, a Instagram page of the same name. And the podcast is the, obviously, Barbecue Talk Show. So that's all about me. And it's a pleasure to be on here having a drink with you, sir. So cheers.
Thank you, sir. Speaking of that, cheers. There you go. You get ice. You got your ice this time.
Yeah, I go. I'm fully prepped this time, mate.
Nice. All right, guys. We're gonna go straight into questions. We already know who you are. One at a time. All right, Matt. Where are you from and what's your background? What, not job or anything. We'll get to that later, but what's your background?
My background. Okay, so I'm the southwest of England, so Gloucestershire, that kind of area.
All right.
For anybody that knows the UK, that side of the sort of country. I've lived there pretty much most of my life. I was born in the opposite side of the country, so the southeast.
Wow.
Yeah, parents, half the family live that side, half the family live kind of where I am now. My background, I don't really know how to answer that. There isn't much, nothing really massive special that sticks out that I can really mention to.
Okay, I mean, school, college, education,
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, just normal school. Went to college for 3 or 4 years. Dropped out of college because I fucking hated it.
Wait.
To be fair, this is going to sound ridiculous because when we get onto the what do you do for work, you're going to be like, hold on a second, but Yeah, so I went to college to study IT.
Okay.
The first year, fine. Second year, it was like a bad repeat, like a rerun of the first year.
Right.
And they then decided to throw in bits that I didn't, want to go to college for, like English and maths again. Fuck off! I've done that at school. I don't need to do it again. I know how to speak English and I know how to count to 10. Fuck off. So yeah, I the second year, I binned it off because it was the same. I was like, look, I'm just going to go into the big wide world and work, and went and did the complete opposite.
Okay,
So,
we'll get the jobs here shortly.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan, you're up, my friend. Where are you from? What's your background?
I live in a town in Buckinghamshire in the Chiltern Hills, which is a lovely place of the world. It's like really good, lovely for kids, and a great place for them to grow up. We've been here 10 years, maybe a bit longer. I grew up in northwest London, just on the outskirts. I was brought up by my grandparents because when I was about 4, my mum passed away. She had a terrible car. It's a long time ago. She had a car accident. My nan and granddad brought myself and my brother up, which was amazing. Because otherwise we would have gone into care, and I don't know what would have happened to us. To be honest, probably never been around each other or anything like that.
Yeah.
Got two lovely boys. They're a challenge sometimes, but families are. Especially a 14-year-old one. He's a big challenge, but he's a nice lad deep down.
Wait till the hair starts poking out.
Oh, the hair's there, mate. He's like a 6-year-old's brain in a 14. He's like a man, basically.
It's like a bull in a china shop. Is that what I'm saying?
The size of me, like the salt. Oh my god,
that's awesome.
He's something else. But also school wise, went to school, studied, ended up doing an engineering apprenticeship. Now I work for an aerospace company making aircraft escape systems for fighter jets such as the F-35 and all that good stuff over there.
We'll get the jobs in a second, but we're cool. That's good. All right, nice. Now, family, spouse, kids, pets, that type of thing. Matt, what you got, man?
So I've got one of those friendship rings that people crack on about. You can take those off and sort of run away. Yeah, friendship ring. So she sat in the other room. Wife, 2 kids, a 5-year-old and a 15-year-old.
Oh
the
man,
15-year-old's inherited from my wife, but I've been around him so long. He's like my own anyway. So
that's
I call him my own.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
And a dog, an annoying Springer Spaniel dog. Dopey as shit, but yeah, you couldn't replace her. Not a chance.
Ryan, what you got, man? Now you already told me you had a fairly large son.
he's a beast. No, I've got obviously my good lady wife, Deb. We've been together a long time. I love her. She's a really lovely lady. I don't know how she puts up with me, to be honest. She does really well. I'm punching way above my weight, I'm not quite. I think it's because I talk a lot. It must keep her occupied. I've also got 2 boys, one Alf, one Charlie. One's 11, one's 14.
Okay.
They're both in senior school now, which made me feel really fucking old in September because obviously the younger one goes up to the big school and you're like, shit, where's the fucking time gone? So he's in secondary school now, so I'm feeling a bit old and a little bit sorry for myself.
Oh, it gets worse, baby. Trust me. It gets worse. Let's look at the chat real quick. Marcus Baldwin says, hi, guys. He said, these guys are legends. You guys are legends.
Oh, Marcus. Hi.
Leprechaun TV's in here. Says, Marcus also says, great seeing these guys who are doing the UK barbecue scene. And we're going to talk about that shortly. All right. And then Jared from Frack Daddy Barbecue's in here, and S&J are in here. All right, guys. Next question. What do you do for a living? Your real-time job. What do you really do? I'm interested in what Matt's going to say.
I work. So I went to college, studied. I dropped it because I fucking hated it.
Right.
And then went out into the big wide world. Started installing and mending TVs, televisions,
Okay.
straight out of college. You know, I like thinking with this, working with these.
Okay.
Yeah. So that like makes my brain go. So I was doing that for 8 years, maybe 10 years. Then I moved on to a company that was specializing in just repairing.
Okay.
And they basically fucked me about and kicked me out like within a month. So I was on my ass. Then I then moved to the company I'm now with, an engineering stores. It was like a stockroom controller, and that opened my eyes to the world of engineers. And I'm sure Ryan will back me up. It's just it's bedlam. You know, these guys know no limits. My first day I was in this stores, I was sat there at my desk, you know, typing away, you know, making the stock, doing whatever I was doing. And one of the engineers walked up. He walked past my window and he looked at me and goes, and he walked away and he walked up to the wall, and there's this big fucking like poster, like frame thing. Right, he ripped it off the wall, pulled the fucking raw plugs out of the wall, slammed it against my window, and he said, "Don't fucking move that. I don't want to see your face." I was like, "Okay," and I turned to the old guy that runs the store normally, and he just started laughing. He said, "Don't go and move it. He'll fucking go mad."
What was that about?
I have no idea. He was like the works hard nut that, you know, like to annoy him, and you know, everybody else. It was just full of banter. You know, it's like, you know, this is where I sort of my humor very much so. After that, I mean, the job it wasn't a permanent job. It was meant to be temporary for sort of 3 or 4 weeks to see me over. I ended up staying there for nearly 4 years.
That's awesome.
Right. Then this position opened up for an IT guy in the company. So I thought, I wasn't pressured, but I was persuaded by the guy that was in the stores with me. He said, "Look, you know, you've done it. You've gone to college. You're good with computers. Why don't you just apply?" So I applied, got the job, did 8 years of, you know, have you tried turning it on and off? Yeah. Oh, I want to fuck off then. Bye. So I did 8 years of that. And by the end of it, you know, it was so repetitive. And the guy I was working with constantly would go and take like the limelight and just, you know, pinch bits of, you know, what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, I'm out. I'm done. 8 years.
Right.
Okay. So I left for a 3-month period. He handed his notice in maybe 2 weeks after I left. I planted the seed with my old boss and said, we're one of our suppliers. And I said, I hear that they're looking for an IT guy. So, knowing the ropes, they were in the shit. They were like, yeah, so do you want to come back? I was like,
please come back.
Yeah, all right. You fucking pay me.
That's right.
You pay me to come back. So they paid me. They gave me a good raise, went back. And now I've been there again for about another 7 years.
Nice.
And now I'm jumping up that ladder.
Nice.
Properly, as I should have been 8 years ago. I'm now, you know, one of the ones that people go to and make executive decisions with. So, you know,
you're one of the big boys now.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
Obviously, I've got one of those. As you probably already guessed. So if somebody comes to me and gives me some bullshit at work, I have none of it. So like the guys that are trying to change systems, you know, the head honchos that are trying to change, fuck off, that's shit. Don't bother doing it. And they'll get it. Yeah, they don't like it when I upset the apple cart for them because they know that I'm right.
I got you. We got Johnny Mags in here.
So that's me waffled for far too long. I've stolen Ryan's mojo now.
Oh no, we got plenty of time. All right, Ryan. Same question at you, brother. Let's talk about your current job. Now, you already mentioned that you're like,
what was the question?
Building space shuttles or some shit. Let's talk about your current job. What you do now?
Oh, shit, man, this is awkward. Right. Philip, I'm going to be straight with you. I
Uh.
work for the Ministry of Defence, right? So from that point,
Okay,
there's
let's
not much I can really
let's
say.
be very careful here.
Yeah, right. So I work for a company called Martin Baker Aircraft Company. We produce ejection seats for the US Navy.
Oh shit!
Some of the US Air Force. We've worked with NASA, the European Space Agency. I've actually got some shit on Mars that I made.
What?
It was when I was an apprentice. I was doing an engraving apprenticeship. I sort of like engraved some dials. They went off on the Beagle spacecraft. It's the one that got lost on Mars, basically. So I've got something up there just
I
poodling
know a
around.
guy that's damn near a Martian. That's amazing.
That was a long time ago. Now I'm So yeah, now I'm working more experimental type of stuff. So
That's impressive.
it's sort of like elect tech sort of type of devices, because obviously things are moving on a little bit.
Let's stick with OPSEC now. Operational security. We don't both want to get in trouble.
No, I'm just going to leave it there. And
There you
so
go.
I do. Martin Baker Aircraft Company. They're a great company. I've done my apprenticeship with them. Fantastic family
Great,
firm.
man. I just want to make sure James Bond ain't coming in and get my ass. You asked the wrong question.
But
fuck that.
Actually, I'll tell you, have you seen the film Behind Enemy Lines? It's like they go off on an aircraft carrier, end up popping out over Bosnia. Two guys.
Yeah.
Well, the two, obviously that I think it was an F-14 or an F-16. F-14, I think it was, wasn't it? They ejected from that. That was a NASIS ejection seat which come out of that. Very authentic, except for the
was that your seat in the movie? You're a Martian and a movie star.
It was one of our seats. Yeah. We use a lot of people. They use all of the older seats for loads of different films and stuff like that. But yeah, that's what we do.
Nice. That's impressive. We got who just jumped in? Uncle Steve's in here. He said you guys looking good. And Leprechaun TV says, do you have a flux capacitor?
I could probably try and make one badly.
That's awesome. Now, you guys alluded to this earlier, but social media. Now take your time. This is your time to shine. Plug away. I'm gonna go with Ryan first this time. You guys, if you want to spell it out or make sure everyone can get there. Now, keep in mind, folks listening, I will get their information and have it in the show notes so that you guys can go there if you need to, if you don't have a pen handy. But plug away, Ryan. You first, man.
Okay, so my own personal multimedia is my YouTube channel. I've also got a Facebook group for Ugly Drum Smoking Building in the UK. That's called Ugly Drum Smokers Barbecue UK on Facebook. We have currently about 1.9k people in there. All good people, really nice. Really friendly group, as you well know. They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a really good group, really friendly. My YouTube channel is growing slowly. I'd like to grow it a little faster, but I've been tied up a little bit with myself and Matt setting this thing up, so I've sort of taken my eye off the ball a little bit, just trying to get this up and running. But I've been recording like mad this weekend, so
nice.
I'm gonna have a beef what was it, rotisserie cook coming out with Meter, obviously because they're the sponsors or helping us along with our barbecue talk show. There you go.
All right.
Also my Instagram, I just like, because you can go on there, you can post whatever you like, and it's like set it and forget it. Off it goes. You fire it off, forget about it. Some people are going to look at it, some people are not. But that's that's Ryan G's Barbecue and Stuff. The same as my YouTube channel. Check it out. I did actually have a personal goal to hit 500 this year, but as I said, I've been a bit lazy, so I'm sort of like sitting at about 375.
If I can help you any way, I will, man. That's what friends do.
But send them over. Like at the beginning, you set yourself. Sort of, that's just how I am. I'm quite driven. I know I don't sound very driven, but sometimes you need to be in life,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all myself. That's all my social media. Take it or leave it. Some of it's good, some of it's okay.
It'll all be awesome. Never downplay. Never downplay. It's the best shit you ever seen, folks. Go subscribe.
Come and follow me. Check them out.
Yeah, man. Look, there you go. Cooking with S&J. They just put in your Ryan G Barbecue and Stuff. They just put your link inside the S&J are my moderators. So they already put your link in there. Thank you so much. Cooking with Stephen and Jacqueline. All right, Matt. Plug away, baby. What you got?
Mine's nice and easy. Everything is smoking cues. So Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. I got them all. Don't use them all, but I've got them all.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean the Smoking Cues YouTube has all of a grand sum of 2 videos, but there will be more. Like I said, there's some ideas of doing some worldwide cooks, some traditional dishes from around the world.
Nice.
So that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that, actually. Something different for me. I'll be the first person to admit that I'm not the greatest at creating recipes. I can't combine different spices and herbs and flavor profiles together yet.
Okay. Let me give you a secret.
That's the idea.
Let me give you a secret. I never want to take anyone else's recipe. So what I do, if I'm interested in a blah, 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 whatever it is, I will spend a good amount of time of reading 3 or 4 or 5 different recipes and watch 3, 4 or 5 different videos on how they do it differently. And then I take what I like and leave out what I don't like. So if someone's doing something spicy and I don't want spicy, so I'll leave that spice out or I'll add a different one. Because cooking is how you like it. It's not how
personal preference.
I like it. Exactly. So I look at a lot of different recipes and then mix, match, get the technique down and blah, blah, blah. And then somehow or another, I'll come up with mine without ripping anybody off directly. That's a technique if you want to use that.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Nice. All right, we're going to take a short break so I can get some of the bills. What do you say, Matt?
I think we should mention the Barbecue Talk Show as well. Because,
yes, of course.
That's kind of how we've come about to be on your podcast is having you on our show. So
you guys got me first. Yeah, the Barbecue Talk Show podcast.
That's it.
Is actually how we met. Is actually how we met.
We're on Facebook. We have a Facebook page. We have a Facebook group, and we're trying to build like a community for sharing different recipes, ideas, just generally build the outdoor cooking community and just sort of help each other grow our channels and our presences elsewhere. So check that out. That's the Barbecue Talk Show, it's Barbecue Talks Show for both group and page. So go check that one out on Facebook. YouTube, the Barbecue Talk Show, and we go live on Facebook and YouTube each Friday 9:30 in the UK.
Yeah,
so
that's 9:30 UK time, folks. Those of you Americans, there's a 5-hour difference from where I am, North Carolina. Do the math. Just Google it. It's wonderful. All right, we're going to take a quick break so I can get these bills paid real quick, fast, in a hurry. And then we're going to come back and we're going to actually hit the subject at hand. So you guys bear with me, and we're going to do this right now. I would like to talk to you about Instacart. What if I told you that you could have local fresh groceries delivered to your front door? You can have multiple deliveries for one small monthly fee. Unlike some other apps or services that want to nickel and dime you all the time. If you don't have that special item that you need to make a special recipe, Instacart in some cases can get that to your house in as fast as 1 hour. Hand selected by shoppers based on your preferences, Instacart highlights deals that can help save you money. You can find everything you normally buy, and they also suggest things that may be new to you. They pick the freshest produce and also keep your eggs safe too. Follow the link in the show notes that lets Instacart know that I sent you. That will not only help the show, but it will also, in this case, give you free delivery on your first order over $35. Instacart. Never go out to go grocery shopping again. All right. Had to put my little plug in. Thanks for that. I will throw this in, guys. In this precarious situation that we are in the United States of America, if you do not feel comfortable leaving to go grocery shopping or you just don't want to put on a freaking mask, Instacart.
I was going to say the same thing. In this kind of situation, these kind of businesses must be booming with people doing deliveries.
Exactly.
They must be.
All right, now we're going to move straight on to the subject matter at hand, podcasting from the UK. All right, now, I really, this is going to sound so crazy, Matt. I want to suck your brain on some of the funky advertising stuff. You sent me something about how you do your, the ads, blah, blah. So I need to step my shit up on that one. And then I want to talk to Ryan about his booming and amazing personality. But question one. What major obstacles did you have to overcome? Funny stories or something you didn't know about podcasting or anything crazy. What did you have to overcome to get to where you are as far as podcast? Now, we're both fledgling podcasters, all right? We both cruising in about 20 episodes. But what hit you that was weird, crazy? Or you like, holy shit, I didn't know we had to do this, or changes along the way? You know what I'm saying? Your evolution.
I'm going to say the shitty green screens we had initially. If you've ever seen any of the first ones, we didn't have this behind us.
Okay.
We had I found an application that would artificially green screen anything behind you.
Right.
We had the Barbecue Talks logos flying around behind us. Fuck me, it made your head hurt. They'd flick, they'd go crazy. Half of you would be like a Barbecue Talks logo across your face. I can remember when it was really hot and we were initially doing it, I can remember Ryan shaved his head. It just blurred like this giant Barbecue Talks logo over his head. So yeah, I mean, that was one obstacle. I think we kind of we try and step it up each week. Try and tweak and change something each week just to try and improve it. Or at least that's what I think we do.
All right, right. Anything crazy, anything you had to learn or anything funny, to get you, because I had to learn a lot. I can bring up plenty of shit that got me by surprise. But anyway.
Again, back to when we first started out, it started off as like a live stream, just like me chatting, Matt chatting, and we get people on and, the usual sort of stuff on YouTube.
Right.
So then we sort of evolved it into sort of like a more of an interview type show. And we thought, to be honest, I thought we were going really fucking well until Jeff Rice come on, right? Have you seen Rice's shit? Fucking hell, man, he's amazing. It's like me and Matt were sitting there with our little mobile phone microphones and all that sort of shit. And he was like,
if you come in with the voice of God, it was
I was like, as soon as he got off, I was like, Matt, we're fucking shit. We need to fucking sort our game out. I was like, how the fuck can people listen to us when you have someone come on like that and he's like an expert? You know what I mean? I was just like, yeah.
It was like we were trapped in kids' bodies using tin cans and a bit of fucking string.
We need to upgrade. That's what you get.
That was it. The next week we both had fucking boom mics a lot.
See, I learned that lesson before I started doing. I'm not gonna say I'm a perfectionist because I'm not, but I'm very, very competitive. Right. So I'll listen, I'll watch, I'll Google, I'll research, and that'll work. I'll buy one. Okay, that'll work. I'll buy. Now I'm in the parts unknown where I work. I'm not even home podcasting yet, but packages showing up. I'm ordering shit, and it's just showing up. My wife's like, "What the hell came today?" Baby, just put it in the corner. Blah blah blah. Because I really hate to fail, even though I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I said, "Bumpin', I'm gonna be a podcaster," and here I am. But I'm one of those guys that will invest early. Worst thing that happens is I sound like shit and have to sell it all.
I'm a nightmare for that. I'll jump in feet first every time. Fuck it, it's going to cost $1,000, but I'm gonna be the fucking best thing since sliced bread.
That's me.
Shit. Nah, I need something else. Oh fuck! I forgot to order the microphone that goes with that 1,000 bit of kit. I'm that kind of guy that's just like, oh, that sounds wicked. Like you're Broadcaster Pro. It's like,
yeah.
I want one. And it's like,
And I was telling you earlier.
Stuff.
I was telling you earlier. I got a. I'm not going to get into the specifics, but I got a monster computer sitting behind me, and it took everything in me to not set it up because I was like, oh shit, I got a bigger one, better one. But then I was afraid I set it up so something would go wrong and screw up the podcast. So I had to stick with tried and true, get this done, and then I can work through the because inevitably something's there's gonna be a cable I don't have or some shit that's not that I'm not gonna have and that I haven't thought of yet. So yeah. We're gonna move on to the next question. Unless you guys have something more. Anything else surprise you or interesting about it? Okay. Have you ever had to deal with negativity? Negativity, skeptical people or anything? What do you have to do to push through that?
Always. I'm always, dealing with negativity. Everyone's been negative all the time. No, I'm guessing you're talking about in the show. Thankfully, we've not really had to deal with any sort of anything like that within the show.
Really?
Nobody's been that unkind.
Wow.
No, yeah, I think we're just lucky. Maybe it's just because we're not so big yet.
Well, I'm not big. I'll tell you this, and we were talking about this earlier, and yeah, I'm gonna say it. This is my show. I was literally doing a live yesterday with a couple of YouTube friends. It was on my other channel. I'm not going to do a shameless plug. Y'all can get me later. But anyway, on my YouTube channel, other than this one, and we're just talking about this, talking about that. And I brought people in like I brought you guys in. All right. Now, I put the link into the chat and this dude popped. I got 3 people in there already. We're laughing and joking. 4 of us total, including myself. And this other person wants to get in. And when they popped up in the green room, when you're down below in the green room, there was no picture. And I was like, oh, shit, who's this person? I hope they're not going to troll us. And I brought them in and I says, hey, welcome to the show. What's going on? Their exact words. I hate niggers and I don't want to have anything to do with them. I was like, you know what? I hate them too. You got to go, bitch. And then I kicked them off. And I was like, well, I'm not a nigger. I'm a black dude. And then we kept talking. I started laughing. Man, the chat went crazy. How dare he? I'm appalled. I'm like, look, fuck it. Keep moving. You're not going to spoil my day. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's the negativity that, hits you. That's a gut punch if you're not prepared for it, if you're thin-skinned. And I was just wondering if anything, I can't say similar, but anything vaguely close.
To be honest, I'm glad I've not been in any kind of that situation because I think I'd lose my fucking shit.
No, you can't, man.
Straight off the bat, I'd go. But I think in that situation, you dealt with it like spot on.
Yeah, you can't.
Off your fuck. Bye.
Yeah, bye. Got to go. Let me keep it moving. Because here's the thing: if you haven't had any negativity, let me help you. Let me give you some insight or some of my insight on it. You're on social media for a reason. Okay. And if anyone's going to try to drag you out or tear you down, they're trying to throw you off of your reason. Okay. And you can't allow that. So if I'm trying to say something, do something, create something, or make something, and someone's going to come in and try to call me a bad name or try to hurt my feelings, so I stop doing that to address them, then they win. And I'm a fucking winner. I'm not letting that happen. You're on my show. This is my game. So I'm not going to let anyone come in and take over anything. But so if that's helpful, I hope it is. If you ever come up on something like that, look, your goal is to do what you're doing, not to go into what somebody else wants you to do. There you go. Yeah. Next question. Oh, wait. All right. Next question. What drives you guys? What pushes you? Philosophies, ideologies? What makes Matt do what Matt does? What makes Ryan push to do what Ryan does as far as podcast wise, social media wise? What's your oomph?
I'm gonna let Ryan first because I'm answering like before him. So carry on, Ryan.
Carry on, Ryan.
Well, I will be totally honest. I wouldn't say I was overly ambitious, but I know certainly for our podcast, we've got a good thing. We're the only people in the UK who do it live. Yeah. So I think it's a really, really good thing and it deserves to be out there. I'm not saying that I'm outrightly ambitious because that's just not a British thing to do. But fuck it. Yeah, I want this show to be the best one in the UK. I want it to be the best one in Europe. You know what I mean? I want everybody to come on this show. I want everybody to just have a good time, because our show is all about you get people on, we have a couple of beers, we just sit back, chew the fat, have a couple of questions, and enjoy ourselves. We've got some real good people around us. Like we've got me, Matt, yourself, Charlie, Lep, Jeff as well, been helping us out. So thank you to those guys for pushing us in the right direction.
Definitely.
It's been immense the last few shows. It's been a fantastic time, and I want us to do good. I think this time next year, I hope we'd be monetized, and I'd like to see our podcast do cracking as well, and everything else on our social media platforms.
Yeah,
whether that happens or not, it's a strange world at the moment, but that's what I'm pushing for. That's what I'd like to see, Well, and the only way we're going to do that is improving every time.
This is true, and during this crazy world, before Matt answers the question, you got a captive fucking audience, man. Everybody's stuck at home.
Absolutely.
Nobody's going anywhere.
Well, that's it. I mean, and with the idea looming of another lockdown in the UK.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so there's more time for more people to watch and get involved. Not that any of us want to be put back into lockdown.
I know, right?
It sucks.
I know, right?
But I'm going to sound like a right cock, but it's going to benefit us if we do go back into lockdown.
All right. You were like, yeah.
People are going to watch.
Come on, COVID.
People got fuck all else to do. I'll tell you what, we're going to watch the barbecue talk show. But I don't. What drives me? What in general? Or I'm going to answer it in terms of the show. I really got sort of into outdoor cooking, like really, really into outdoor cooking this year, maybe a little bit before like last year. Right. So for me, the whole community thing, barbecue in general, is such a good community, but I want to build more on that community. So I want to facilitate people to be able to, give little bits of information. So our website, for example, I've just released a blog onto the website, and it's open for anybody to do guest blogs on. Yeah. Oh, if they want to, do you know what I mean? So I'm going to make some blog posts, but I want to be able to go, you know what, guys, here you go. Put this on the website. Advertise. Right. I'm all right. Eventually I want to be in it for the money, but at the moment I'm quite happy to give people advertising space on my website or on our website for fuck all. As long as we can sort of come to some kind of agreement that, you give our viewers some kind of discount, or you like, for example, Meter. We've got discount codes with Meter on the website. We've got discount codes for the Rusty Barbecue Co., which is a UK rubs-based company. So those kind of things. I just want to give more back to the community. I mean, the community's given me so much. Like knowledge-wise, cooks and things like that. It's time to start paying it back,
Yeah,
and that kind of thing.
What you got up there, Ryan?
I mean, for example, Ryan's holding up Uncle Steve's Shake.
Yeah,
that guy is incredible. I mean,
oh my goodness,
he shipped us stuff from the States at his own expense for us to give away on the show. He also gives away stuff on the show each week. And do you know what I mean? And it's not. I can't rant and rave enough about that stuff. I want that stuff in the UK to distribute.
Oh my goodness, Uncle Steve.
To the point where we're actually in discussions about importing a fuck ton of it.
Oh
for
shit!
The UK.
Let me throw this in real quick. I got the Tom Pointers in here, Evening Gents, and Greg, the barbecue broker, DeGiorgio, is speaking to you guys. Look at you two guys. He says, "Feel my dude, Uncle Steve."
Baby barbecue.
Look, Uncle Steve sent me the big thing of his pig powder, cow powder. He sent me 2 packages, and I still haven't done him justice. I'm going to do a dedicated straight freaking, let me say that right, straight fucking video for Uncle Steve by himself. I got to do a couple cook just for him on my other YouTube channel. But Yeah, we're gonna
Uh,
move on.
I mean,
Next question. I'm sorry.
I've had enough rubs to know that stuff is
I know.
another level.
And it's the twang. It's the
Yeah.
twang. I mean,
I
it's
tell you,
great flavor already. Okay, I'm gonna do it. Killer Hogs. I like Killer Malcolm Reed's Killer Hogs. I like it on the ribs. I like his SPG. You know, I like that. But Uncle Steve's pig powder and beef powder is Killer Hogs with a twist,
with something else,
better twist, with
fucking,
something else.
with
There
some
you go.
magic fucking sprinkled
Exactly.
into it.
So yeah, Uncle Steve, I hope he watches this if he's in here.
Yeah.
Listen, I owe you I don't want to cuss, but I will. Fuck ton of videos. Her flavor, man. I got you, Steve. I got you. I get my new computer set up for editing, and I'm gonna start going into full force freaking filming and all that stuff. Anyway, we're not talking about me.
Yeah.
Let's move back on to the next question. What advice would you two give to, since you're both YouTubers and podcasters, what advice would you give to someone that aspires to be a YouTuber or a podcaster?
I would say just do it. Grab whatever you got and get on with it. That's exactly what I told Matt. Matt was thinking about, oh, shall I, shan't I, would I, could I not?
Right.
It's just like, you got a phone, get a tripod, fucking do it.
Right.
And his first video was amazing. You got to check his first video out. It was brilliant. He done a fantastic job.
I got arrested the last time I just grabbed it and just did it.
How you get arrested? Some people can just grab it by the foot. Never mind. Don't get me started. Anyway. All right, Matt. What do you got, man? What advice do you have for someone that wants to be a podcaster and or a YouTuber?
Okay, so YouTube I'm going to steer clear of, because 2 videos is not enough for me to sit there and say, look, guys, go and do this, because I haven't got a fucking clue. I'm not going to lie.
That's perfect.
Yeah? So
because if your first 2 videos are good, you can tell them what you did.
No, I'm not going to sit there and say I'm an expert on that. However, if you want to start a podcast or a show, like Ryan says, just do it. Build every time. You know, if you have an idea, write it down. No idea is shit. So we've got, between me and Ryan, we've got a list the size of your fucking arm of ideas. There's stuff we want to do. There's stuff on the chopping room floor that we don't use. There's stuff that's in production. There's stuff that we're thinking about all the time. And we just bounce ideas between us. Don't ever think that an idea is a bad idea, because 9 times out of 10, they're not. And you can work on them. So even if the idea that you come up with is questionable, you can always rethink that idea and make it work. Yeah. So, I mean, there's so many things that we've put into the show. From the show, when we first started, it was like, hi guys, and straight into it. Boom. Yeah. And now we're sort of implementing other bits. I mean, we can probably talk about the idea, the whole idea of giving back to the community again. So we're going to start putting in a feature on the show, which is honorable mentions for cooks that are posted within, for example, the Facebook group that we see on YouTube, things like that. And just more content for the show, more things for people to watch, more things to enjoy.
Well, give me some shout outs, man.
Keep building on your ideas. Don't think, do you know what, I've got too much fluff going on, because there's other avenues you can do. For example, we didn't have a website when we first started. We now have a website. We didn't have a podcast. We now have the podcast.
Yes.
We didn't have a blog. We now have a blog. So just keep building.
All right.
The more, I guess that's all I can really give. Keep building.
Okay. Next question. What's your biggest blooper? Now, I'm not talking about that crazy picture that you took, right?
Oh, come on.
That was awesome. Real time. I was there for that. But what's your biggest blooper during a show, live show, or a video or whatever? What's your biggest blooper, Matt? Well, we'll go Ryan first.
Let me see. What for the
You've
so
got-
so you want it
use
for a
that one,
YouTube or
Either or,
what a-
YouTube or both, YouTube and podcast. That'll make it better.
You've got to do the one through Facebook. That's got to be your biggest blooper. It's fucking hilarious.
all right, okay, we go over that. You last month I done a draw for my group. Every month I do a draw for the cover photo of the group because I believe that we should be more interactive and everybody should be involved in it and sort of like get out what you've got. I built this, put this up, check this out. Come on, here's my thing. So I was like, oh fuck. The night before I'd done the podcast, yeah, so all my shit was set up. I thought, I know. I hit Matt up. Matt set all the technical link up and shit. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this with all my lights and show everybody in the group what's going on. And so off I went. I was like, chat. Phil was kind enough to come in. He sort of like had his group. It's sort of like, oh yeah, and you sort of like you announced it for me, and I literally put my phone on my fucking laptop and it hit the print screen button. And because I was live, I was like, oh, fuck. But my phone, my face was like, so I had that face going on and I was sort of like chatting, talking to the camera, thinking, oh, fuck, how can I get around this? What's going on? I've got Daddy Cooks, Phil Riddick doing this. I'm doing the fucking draw. I was like, oh, fuck me, what have I done? What a fuck? I look like a complete fucking idiot in my eyes, you know. That's my biggest blooper by far. You know.
So I had the honor of being there during your biggest blooper. That was awesome.
Yeah. No pressure or nothing. It was literally like, boom, fuck.
You did about 90% of it.
What made it better is your wife posted the picture.
You did 90% of the whole thing with your fucking face like that. Stuck on the screen.
That's funny. All right, Matt. Oh, y'all got me crying over here. All right, Matt. Your biggest blooper, either YouTube or podcast. What's your biggest blooper?
Biggest blooper. I'll do one for cooks. I don't think I've had any, touch wood. I haven't had any bloopers on the show yet. I mean, we had a few bloopers yesterday doing our meter review, which was quite funny. I just kept tripping over my words. I'm really bad for tripping over my words. Like, you know, and it'll just come out like utter shit. I think I did one with Johnny Maggs on the show.
Okay.
And so I introduced him and I completely fucked up the Pit Life Barbecues name. Like unbelievably, like nowhere near the name of the Pit Life Barbecue. And he just looked, he was like, what the fucking amateur. And I had to start again. I literally was like, yeah, so I completely fucked that. So it's the Pit Life Barbecue, not whatever it was that I said. It was
not the pug,
wrong.
Not the pug dog.
Yeah. It was bad. It was bad. Life Pit Barbecue.
Ryan Debbie says,
something.
Ryan Debbie says, what a funny screenshot that was.
Yeah, it was.
She's in the chat.
Thank you, Madonna.
So
you're a lovely woman for that.
Bloopers for cook. So I was doing some ribs,
Yes.
some Louis style ribs, you know, full rack of ribs, 2 of them. He's laughing because he knows what happened. So I'm lazy and I love technology. Yeah, so I'm in that field and
right.
I like technology. So I own a smart fire to control my my UDS. So like a PID. Mm-hmm. Fan controller, you know, all of that. Right. So it's connected, it's running. Okay, right, up to temperature. I'll put the ribs in, and I've now worked out what causes this problem because this is twice this has done this now. Mm. So I'm sat there and I'm going, right, okay, let's chuck them in, put them in, go back inside, you know, get a drink, whatever, and sit down, chill out. And I get this notification on my phone. Your pit's too hot. Fucking right, it's too hot. It's like 600 degrees.
Oh, wow.
Right? I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this thing? And I go, I closed the app, reopened it again. 600 degrees. These ribs have been in there for what, half an hour, if that.
Wow.
Right? They were nearly fucking cooked. So low and slow, my ass. They were like fucking
Microwave.
They were. So I fucking ran outside. I was like, shit. What do I do? I grabbed these ribs. I ripped the lid off the fucking drum. I thought, right, well, it ain't gonna get any hotter. You know, it's having fucking air pumped into it permanently. Right. So I run out. I hear the smart fire running full pout, 100% with the fan. Right. And I go out and I'm looking at the temperature gauge on the side. I'm surprised the fucking drum isn't glowing red at this point. Yeah. Open the lid over the garden. I'm like, fuck. I'm looking at these ribs and going, oh man, these are fucked. So I grabbed them out. I wrapped them like straight away off the bat. I was like, right, bollocks to it. I'm going to wrap them, keep as much moisture as I can in there.
Yeah.
Wrapped them, chucked them in a cool box and left them. And I put the lid back on, pulled out the smart fire, let the drum cool down again. And then I was like, I checked well, I've got like a 50 cal ammo box that I converted into like a 12-volt battery box solely for the use of, you know, charging a phone or for the smart fire. Right. Well, it's got a gauge on it that tells me how much battery power is left. It's like a digital gauge. I'm looking at it. It's, you know, just shy of 11 volts. I'm thinking, okay, that's not good. So grabbed another little portable battery pack, plugged it in. This is like an hour and a half to let my fucking drum cool down from about 600 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah. It would not fucking cool down.
What was the fault? The fan just kept blowing and pushing.
Because the battery was too low. It was the smart fire was just for whatever reason blowing flat out. So I posted on their Facebook page. It's like, you know, what the fuck's going on? This is the second time this has done this.
You had a turbo drum.
It was. I came out and like all the paint's now cracked on it. It's fucking got so hot. It's all cracked. It's fucked.
Wow.
It looks battered now, but
that's amazing.
It's a reminder to always make sure that the battery box is over 11 volts.
That is amazing.
The next time I need to charge the battery box because the battery box is about 8 volt now. It's just out in the shed. You need charging back up. So thankfully I've got like a Mavic drone and I can use the batteries of the Mavic drone. Yeah.
I have a Mavic. Yeah.
I ran inside. I was like, fuck. What can I use? Bingo. When I grab one of those, boff, straight in.
A Mavic battery?
Yeah.
How did you?
Because it's got like,
engineers, man. Y'all engineers. And shit.
So the Mavic, it depends. Obviously, it depends on which one you've got. I have the Mavic Pro 2.
Okay, I don't have a 2. I just got a regular Mavic Pro.
So it came with a plug that goes onto the battery.
Yes.
And then it gives you 2 USB ports.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
You just turn the battery on and use that as a 5-volt supply.
Wow.
So that was sat outside and it worked perfectly fine. And those batteries last fucking ages when they're only pulling 5 volt, not controlling a bloody drone.
Unless you're flying. You get 30 minutes if you're flying, 27 minutes if you're flying. But if it's just running something less than a drone.
So
that's amazing. See, you IT guy.
Just to use that, you know. So, but that was my blooper. Was those ribs nearly got fucked. Nearly. I saved them. I did save them. Thankfully, you know, the notifications came up on my phone saying, hey, I'm fucking your life up, mate. You need to go downstairs and sort me out. So,
your drum's about to explode. Please run it.
Do you know what? I didn't even think about it. Just pop the lid open. But at that temperature, it could have flamed up. Like straight off the bat.
Yeah. Exactly. Johnny Mags, he's cussing you for that blooper. He called you fucking bastard. And then he says, this is the best part of being live. And I agree. All right. Even this. And he says, my brothers, I love you guys. But that's the best thing about doing a podcast, being live, bringing in people, because you have to be able to, well, I can say have to. If you want to be successful, You need to be able to be dynamic and go with the flows, the ebbs and flows, and be able to, one, hold a conversation, two, be able to hold your own when the conversation goes wrong. And you need to be able to cover. You guys know that as interviewers, not interviewees.
Yeah.
As interviewers, you have to carry your show. And sometimes you might you might get an interviewee that's a dud, and you have to carry the show. You got to carry.
We didn't have a dud. I'm not, far from a dud. Let's get this right. Ryan's shaking his head. We had an issue with a time zone mix-up. And we were both sat there like, fuck, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Fuck it, chuck the link in. Got like 5 or 6 people in.
Yeah.
Whew, that was, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking arsehole was going like this.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
And that's for podcast, those that are listening that want to do a podcast, you have to be able to cover. You got to be able to cover, especially if it's live. See, I have the unfortunate and fortunate disability of not being actually having an actual schedule where you guys are, 9:30, boom.
Yeah, definitely.
So you're do or die. I'm like, let me reschedule. If I got any loyal people, they'll listen to it when it comes, that type of thing.
I mean, for our show, we've got, like Ryan said before, we've got a great lot of regular guys that listen, and on that particular day, that particular day, they came in strong for us. We had like 5 or 6 of them come in, and we're like, we just kept it going. Without those guys, we would have just been sat there, thumb up our ass, just going, the fuck do we do? So
now here, a word of advice now. And Lep said this earlier. Leprechaun Barbecue said this earlier. I'm sorry, Leprechaun TV. You got to be careful about putting the link in the chat, because then you get some fuck nugget like I had yesterday just to pop in and want to do something crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you can trademark that. Fuck nugget.
Is that like the muck nugget, but the fuck nugget? Yeah?
Exactly. So, I will never make that mistake again. And that's another thing about podcasts. There's things you're going to learn as you progress. I'll never do that again. I will send a specific link to people, that I want on. You can't trust the world because you'll get the fuck nugget. You just can't do it.
Johnny Mags, hashtag fuck nugget.
But hey, next question. Do I have another question? All right, I do. For both of you, if you were king for a day, what would or could you do to improve things across the board? Now, what I mean by across the board is across the things that you control, or if you really want to expand, you can go as far as the world. If you were king for a day, look, Johnny Mags, hashtag fuck nugget, hashtag fuckery. Anyway, if you were king for a day, what would you do to change things across the board? We'll go Matt first this time. No. I'm gonna go Ryan G this time first.
Okay. I would say, in the words of Bill and Ted, be excellent to each other.
Nice.
The only thing you need to do, just be excellent to each other.
Right.
And if you want to do anything else, party on, dude. That's what I'm saying.
Party on. And I agree with that.
A better place.
I said something similar to that, and this wasn't R-BoP. This was just me. Matt was there. I don't know if you saw. I'm sitting in a car, just not ranting and raving. Just I had some views on some things, and same thing that I'm gonna say it differently, a lot differently. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dude. I said if people just quit fucking with each other, just quit fucking with each other. Anyone that's a polar opposite, don't fuck with the opposite. White people quit fucking with black people. Pretty people stop fucking with ugly people. Fat people quit fucking with skinny people. If people just quit fucking with each other, Muslims and Christians, anything, caffeine and decaffeinated, quit fucking with each other. Let people live how they want to live, and this world will be a better place. So
Mhm.
be excellent, dude.
But
I agree.
Sometimes when you fuck with other people, the outcomes are quite fun. You know, like the decaf and the caffeinated. So if you go into the office and accidentally on purpose change the caffeinated coffee to decaf for like 2 weeks and then fucking switch it back and watch the productivity go through the roof.
But that's harmless trouble. You know what I'm saying though. You got all the crazy shit.
Yeah,
in the
I
world.
know exactly
Yeah,
what you're talking about.
I got you.
Yeah.
So, Matt, same question. If you were king for a day, what would you do or could you do to improve things across the board, either your personal life, your aspirations, or worldwide? Give it to me, man.
I'd like to press the reset button.
I agree. What do you mean by that?
So there's plenty of people out there that struggle with money. There's plenty of people that have got far too much fucking money that don't know what they're doing with it. Yeah. I'd like to press the reset button. Everybody goes back to fuck all. Not fuck all, but do you know what I mean? I'd like to just level the playing field.
Really? Nice.
Not that, yes, I guess. There's people that have worked hard for it. Yeah. And then there's people that have been given a fucking shit deal.
Yes.
Yeah. No matter how hard they fucking try, they ain't that. Life is always going to shit on them.
Yes.
I'd like to be able just to go level playing field.
Level playing field across the board. I can see that. That's good. I think a little differently. I would wish, this is so fucked up. I wish that the few, and you've seen them, you've heard them, you've read about them. The people that, this is going to sound so fucked up. The people that just don't deserve to live. Yes, just be able to kill them. That's so fucked up. Now, what I mean by don't
snap on them. Goodbye.
What I mean by don't deserve to live is the person in the right lane that turns left anyway in traffic. You don't deserve to fucking live. You're a candidate. You know what I'm saying?
That's a little bit harsh. You're in the wrong lane. Fuck off. Goodbye.
Fuck off. You're dead. You know, no, I'm just the people that just, you know, in America, this is crazy, and I'm joking about this, but whenever there's some catastrophe or something crazy on the news, there's a fire or there was some shit in the news, and they always pick the guy or the lady that shouldn't be interviewed. They got a shower freaking hat on, in their pajamas, you know, or dude wearing a fucking diaper with a nipple ring, some crazy shit. And that's the person they want to interview. I'm like, don't talk to them. Just kill that guy and talk to the one behind them. There's people, this is so fucked up. There's people that don't deserve to live, man.
I think the other thing I'd like to get rid of, if
yes, sir.
You know, as well as just pressing the reset button, would be bye-bye media, as in like news and all of that shit that they whip into a frenzy. Do we really need to know what's happening 3,000 miles away from us? Do we really need to know?
Yeah, if I can, let me chime in here. I remember back in the day. Now, I don't know how the news was in the UK. Back in the day, you had folks like Walter Cronkite. This happened and blah, blah, blah. Good evening and good night. They told you what happened in the world that whatever person or media thought was significant. That was news. Now, what we have now in the world, BBC does it.
It's made up.
CNN, all of them do it. You have the news, and then you have the news talk shows. Yeah. And people seem to not be able to identify the difference.
That's what I meant by get rid of
them fucks. Back to the people that don't deserve to live. Oh yeah, I wish.
Phil's got a little place for you guys. Just come over.
Did you see?
There's a hole in the ground for you somewhere.
Joaquin Phoenix, Joker. You watched the movie?
No.
Oh, you haven't? You did? Yeah. Did you, Matt? You saw it? He was in there, Maury. He kept warning him, Maury. And he kept taunting him. What'd he do? He shot him in the fucking head.
Have you not watched that yet?
Can you imagine me?
Oh,
I'm
man.
sitting at
That's
MSNBC. I'm sitting at MSNBC or Fox News, and they're like, well, that's not true. Well, Phil, blah, blah, blah. That's not true. Don't say that again. Oh, no, this is true. No. Pow! I don't think they'd invite me again.
No.
Just to get onto the news thing
Yes, sir.
slightly. If you want to know actually what's going on in the world, watch Al Jazeera. They don't give a
I agree.
They absolutely don't give a fuck what they say.
I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you, I know this is your interview, but I'm going to tell you a story to Al Jazeera. I was in the Kyrgyz Republic. They call it Kyrgyzstan. I was in the Kyrgyz Republic. My job was to train people going into Afghanistan. So they said that we had a secret briefing and then we had a non-secret briefing. It started out a 1 hour briefing, ended up being a 2 hour briefing because soldiers were doing stuff. And then the commanding general, the theater commander, it was General Petraeus, and then it turned to General freaking Johnson. Petraeus was Army, Johnson was a Marine. So it was their tactical directives, and that's what I was instructing. That's what I was putting out to soldiers going into Afghanistan, what the theater commander needed you to know before you deploy. Now, there was this guy, I'm not going to call his name, and you probably saw it in the news. He went wackadoo. He left Kandahar and went into Kandahar proper, the city, and started shooting people. He killed a lady and some kids. A United States soldier went into Kandahar proper and started killing people. I don't know if you guys remember that. You can Google it. All right. Yeah. Now,
yet that doesn't make it over to the UK.
I'm sorry for that. But listen, check this out. I was watching, not only was I watching international CNN, international NBC, Al Jazeera, and BBC. Okay. CNN and NBC were talking about, for this soldier, how his battle fatigue and he was stressed too much and how so much pressure was on him and he ended up leaving and committing crimes and killing people. That was the freaking Western version. Okay. Al Jazeera was interviewing people in the city, and they were saying we were in our town minding our own business, and this rogue American came in and started killing people indiscriminately. Both stories are true, but it's point of view. So now Al Jazeera is like, these people were minding their own business, and this rogue fucking American came in and started killing people, which is true. But CNN and NBC was saying, well, this guy went through so much stress, battle fatigue, blah, 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 and he should have not been able to leave the camp, but he did leave the camp, and because of all of his stress, he snapped and killed some people. So people still got killed in both stories, but perspective. Just the way
yeah, exactly.
So you're right. If you want to see if you want to understand what's going on in the world, you can't only watch Fox News because that's their view. You can't only watch NBC because that's their view. And I'm talking about Americans. You can't only watch BBC because they only give a fuck so much about what's going on in America. Oh, so much. We're allies, but they don't know us shit. You know what I'm saying? As far as reporting wise. But you get Al Jazeera, that's Middle Eastern news. Same story, different perspective. I don't know how we got to that. But anyway.
Sorry, but it is very true. There's always one more perspective. I always say this to my kids, right? There's three sides to every story. There's your side, someone else's side, and the truth.
Yeah.
Right. And between those two, you get to the third one. And that's how generally I figure things out.
And I do the same thing. I'm a sponge. I'm a thinker. If you don't know, I know that. But I like to get information from different directions and then make my own decision or make up my own mind on how I feel about it. Anyway, next question, which is not a question. It is the wrap up. How are we going to close this, guys? I don't know.
No idea.
We've been on for an hour and 14 minutes. Yes,
wow,
indeed.
That's gone really quickly. That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
How are we
Well,
going to wrap this
how are
up?
we gonna
Well,
wrap it up?
Well, I can just
recommend-
I can go into thank yous, man. Matt, I thank you so much, man. Smoking Q's for being here, for honoring me with your presence. Ryan G, I appreciate you. I think it's Ryan G's Barbecue. What's your channel?
Ryan G's Barbecue and Stuff.
Barbecue and Stuff. So thank you so much for honoring me. Everyone that is underneath the sound of my voice, either if you're here live or you listen to podcasts afterwards, please go to their channels, take a look at it. Subscribe if you like it, and if you have suggestions, give them comments because comments are helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Don't forget the barbecue talk show.
Yeah. Oh, and please, if you enjoy this podcast, the R-BoP podcast, you will definitely enjoy the Barbecue Talk Show podcast. Go check that one out. And shameless plug because Johnny Mag's in here. You might want to check out the Pit Life Barbecue podcast as well. So if you're a person that enjoys podcasts, I just gave you 3. Mine and 2 more. All right, guys. I love you like cook food. Don't go anywhere. We're going to end this broadcast, guys. I'm glad that everyone stayed here this long, or I'm glad that you guys listened to this podcast. I love you like cook food, and I am out of here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take care of yourself. If you hear somebody sneeze, run like a motherfucker.
Oh,